Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing good. So today we are going to start a new topic, that is contract of sale. Today we are going to start a new topic, that is contract of sale. Sales of Goods Act 1930. Sales of Goods Act 1930. So sir, what is this 1930? As I already told you, 1930 is the year. The Sales of Goods Act came into force in the year 1930. What is Sales of Goods Act? The sales in this act, Sales of Goods Act 1930, it deals with the transaction related to sale and purchase of goods. Sale and purchase of goods. Suppose I went to a market to purchase a mobile phone. I went to a market to purchase a mobile phone. This contract to purchase a mobile phone will come under Sales of Goods Act 1930. So Sales of Goods Act deals with the transaction related to sales and purchase of goods. Whatever product you purchase or whatever product you sell in the market will come under Sales of Goods Act 1930. So 1930 Sales of Goods Act deals with the transactions related to only sale and purchase of goods. What is definition of a contract of sales? Simple. A contract of sale is a contract whereby a seller transfers or agree to transfer the property in goods to the buyer for a price, as you can see in the photo. Suppose I went to a market and I asked the shopkeeper that I want 1 kg rice. The shopkeeper told me that 1 kg rice will cost rupees 50. Now, I said, okay, I will purchase 1 kg of rice. Now this is a contract of sale where the shopkeeper is ready to give me rice and I am ready to give him rupees 50. This is a contract of sale where there is one buyer who will buy the rice and one seller who will sell the rice. So in contract of sale, there are two parties, one buyer and one seller. So a contract of sale is a contract whereby a seller transfers or agree to transfer the property in goods for a price to the buyer. Essentials of contract of sale. In contract of sale, there should be two parties, buyer and seller. There should be some goods who are required to be transferred from seller to buyer. Transfer of property, the ownership of the goods should also be transferred from seller to buyer. Price, the buyer should pay some price for the goods purchased from the seller. Essential elements of valid of contract. But as you all know, contract of sale is also a contract. So in this, all the essential elements of a valid contract will automatically come. Now, essentials of contract of sale. Number one, two parties. There must be two parties. There must be a seller as well as buyer. Buyer means a person who buys or agrees to buy. Section 29, subsection 10. Seller means a person who sells or agrees to sell. Section 29, subsection 30. Goods. There must be some goods. Goods means every kind of movable property. In sale of immovable property is not covered under Sales of Goods Act. Suppose I sell my house to Mr. Ram for rupees 50 lakh. I sell my house to Mr. Ram for rupees 50 lakh. Now, this type of contract will not cover under Sales of Goods Act because a house is an immovable property. For immovable property, there is a separate act. Sales of Goods Act 1930 deals with only movable property. If you sell or purchase any immovable property, then that transaction will be not covered by Sales of Goods Act 1930. Sales of Goods Act, in Sales of Goods Act, goods means every kind of movable, every kind of movable property. Got my point, everyone? Chalo, let's move ahead now. Transfer of ownership. Here property means ownership. In a contract of sale, it is the ownership that is transferred or agreed to transfer. As I told you that in contract of sale, mere delivery from one person to another person does not cover under contract of sale. In contract of sale means when the property is transferred along with the ownership. Suppose I went to a market and I purchased a mobile phone from a shopkeeper. So the shopkeeper will give me the mobile phone as well as he will give me the ownership of the mobile phone. So transfer of property means transfer of ownership. Price. The consideration in a contract of sale has necessarily to be money. When there is no consideration, it amounts to gift, not sale. बच्चों in contract of sale it says that it is compulsory that there should be some price. There should, and the price necessarily has to be money. For example, if I sell my bike to my neighbor and in exchange of my bike, the neighbor has given me a TV. I give my bike to the neighbor and in exchange of the bike, the neighbor has given me TV. So I sell my bike to neighbor and purchase the TV, and the neighbors purchase the bike and sell the television. This type of contract will not cover under Sales of Goods Act 1930 because in Sales of Goods Act there should be some price. There should be some price which has to be there. Now, for example, I sell my bike to my neighbor for rupees 10,000, then it will cover under contract of sale because there is a price and the price is in terms of money, that is 10,000. So, if I gift my bike, if I gift a mobile phone to my wife, if I gift a mobile phone to my wife, then it will not be considered as contract of sale because there is no price and no money. So in contract of sale, there should be price and the price should be money. The money can be cash, check, Paytm, Google Pay, Phone Pay, whatever, but it should be money. If, for instance, goods are offered as the consideration for goods, it will not amount to sale. It will be called as exchange or barter. As I told you, I give my bike to the neighbor and I have taken his television. It will be called as barter, not sale. It will be called as exchange, not sale. Got my point, everyone? The act applies only when a buyer pays by cash, that is check, credit card, debit card, Paytm, Phone Pay, Google Pay, whatever amount. Let's move ahead. Essential elements of a valid contract. All the essentials of a valid contract as per Indian Contract Act 1872 must be present. As I told you, whatever are the essential elements that we have studied in Indian Contract Act 1872, all those essential will come under this. The parties, what were the essential? I know now you all must have forgot what were the essentials. Let's take a quick revision. The parties to a contract of sale must be competent to contract. The consent of parties must be free. The object of contract must be lawful, and so on. There were many more essentials. Sale and agreement to sale. What is sale and agreement to sale? Sale. Where under a contract of sale, the property in goods is transferred from seller to buyer, it is called a sale. For example, I went to a market and to purchase a music system. I went to a market to purchase a music system. I asked the shopkeeper what is the price of this music system. The shopkeeper told me that the price of this music system is rupees 20,000. I said, okay, I will purchase the music system tomorrow. Now this is known as agreement to sale. We made an agreement. Me and shopkeeper made an agreement that I will purchase the music system and will pay 20,000. Here I will pay 20,000 and the shopkeeper will give me music system. This is agreement to sale, where the shopkeeper agreed to give me music system and I agreed to give shopkeeper rupees 20,000. This is known as agreement to sale. A sale. A sale is an executed contract. Next day, I went to the shop. I have given 20,000. Now the shopkeeper transferred the music system to me. This is known as actual sale, in which the ownership is transferred to me. I give him the price 20,000, and the shopkeeper transfer the music system along with the ownership. It is known as sale. Agreement to sale means a contract of sale under which the transfer of property and goods is to take place at a future date. Like in music system, we made a contract that I will come tomorrow and purchase the music system. So in future, I will purchase. It is an agreement to sale. And when I actually purchase the music system, it is converted into sale, contract of sale. So what is the difference between sale and contract of sale? Sale is an executed contract and agreement to sale is an executory contract. Transfer of ownership. The property and goods sold passes to the buyer in contract of sale, and in agreement to contract of sale, the transfer of property will take place in future date. Convenience, conveyance of property. It creates a lie. It creates a right in It creates a right in property against the thing. It gives right to the buyer to enjoy the goods against the whole world. It gives right to the buyer to enjoy the goods against the whole world. In agreement to sale, right to enforce a particular person to fulfill his obligation. Transfer of risk. Transfer of risk take place immediately in contract of sale. In agreement to sale, there is no transfer of goods. Transfer of right of seller in case of breach, where the property is passed to the buyer, the seller can file a case against the buyer for the price of the goods. Where the property in goods has not been transferred, the buyer cannot file a case, the seller cannot file a case until and unless you do not get the money. Right of buyer in case of breach. He can file a case against the seller for damages. In case of agreement to sell, he can file a case against the seller for damages. Insolvency of seller in possession of goods. He can claim the goods from the official assignee. In agreement to sale, he cannot claim the goods but only a relatable dividend from the money paid. Insolvency of buyer before the paying price. The seller has to deliver the goods to the official assignee. In agreement to sale, the seller can refuse to deliver the good to the official assignee. Classification of goods. Goods can be of three types. Goods can be classified in three types: existing goods, future goods, contingent goods. Existing goods are those goods which are owned and possessed by the seller at the time of contract. Suppose I went to buy a television, a Samsung television. The shopkeeper is having the Samsung television. So it will be known as existing goods. Existing good is the good that the seller have at the time of contract. Existing good can be specific or generic. Specific goods means goods identified and agreed upon at the time of contract of sale is made. For example, for example, I went to buy an iPhone. I asked the shopkeeper that show me iPhone 12. He showed me iPhone 12. I said, okay, I will purchase this iPhone 12. It is known as a specific good, where I specified that I want to purchase iPhone 12. Got my point? It is known as specific goods. Classification of goods. Uncertain goods are those goods identified by description, not specifically identified. For example, Anthony, who owns a television showroom, has 20 television sets. and agreed to sell any of them to Bharti. The contract is made for unascertained goods, since which particular TV set shall become the subject matter of sale is not individualism at the time of contract of sale. For example, I want to buy a television of Sony company. I went to a shopkeeper. I asked the shopkeeper what is the price of Sony television. He told me that the price of Sony television is 20,000 rupees. The shopkeeper has 50, 50 set of Sony television. Now all the sets are same. Now I asked the shopkeeper to give me one television of Sony company and I paid him rupees 20,000. In this in this case, the shopkeeper can give me any television from the set of 50 because the goods are not specifically classified. These are known as unascertained goods. Future goods. Future goods means the goods to be manufactured or sold or acquired by the seller after making the contract. All the goods which are manufactured or produced or acquired by the seller after making the contract of sale is known as future goods. For example, Mr. Kulkarni agreed to sell future crop of a particular agriculture field in the next season. This is a contract to sell future goods. Suppose, for example, I want 1000 kg of wheat. I made a contract with a farmer. The farmer told me that when in next season I will grow wheat, I will sell you 1000 kg of wheat. Now, when we made the contract, me and farmer, the wheat was not in existence. The wheat was a future goods which the farmer is going to grow in future. So that wheat will be known as future goods. The future goods means with the goods which are going to be manufactured or produced or acquired by the seller after making the contract of sale. Contingent goods. Contingent goods are those goods the classification of which by the seller depends upon a contingency which may or may not happen. Contingency goods is a part of future goods. For example, I want to purchase a famous painting. I made a contract with Mr. Ram that I want this famous painting. Mr. Ram told me, okay, I will contact to Mr. Sham, who is the current owner of painting, and if Mr. Sham gives me the painting, then I will sell you. So it depends upon a future event which may or may not happen. Mr. Sham may sell the painting to Mr. Ram and then he can sell the painting to me. And if Mr. Sham do not sell the painting to Mr. Ram, he will not be able to sell the painting to me. So this type of goods is known as contingent goods, which may or may not happen. So everyone got my point? Again, I am repeating what is contract of sale. Contract of sale means where one party agreed to transfer the goods to another party for a price. Where one party agreed to transfer the goods to another party for a price. Okay, where the seller transfer the property or goods to the other party, that is buyer, for a price. Essentials of a contract of sale: there should be two party, that is buyer and seller. Goods. The goods means, what is the meaning of goods? Goods means every kind of movable property. Immovable property is not covered under Sales of Goods Act. Transfer of property. Here property means ownership. In the contract of sale, it is the ownership that is transferred or agreed to be transferred. Price. The consideration in a contract of sale has necessarily to be money. When there is no consideration, it amounts to gift and not sale. If goods are offered for consideration for another goods, it will not be considered as sale, it will be called as barter or exchange. What is the meaning of money? Money includes cash, check, credit card, debit card, etc. All essential elements of valid contract will also come under contract of sale. Sale and agreement to sale. Where under a contract of sale, the property in the goods is transferred from seller to buyer, it is known as sale. It means sale is an executed contract. In agreement to sale means a contract of sale under which the property is transferred to in the property in goods is to transfer in future date. Classification of goods. Goods can be classified as existing goods, future goods, contingent goods. Existing goods are those goods which are owned and purchased by the seller at the time of contract. Future goods are those goods. Future goods are those goods which are to be manufactured and acquired by the seller after making the contract of sale. And contingent goods are the goods the acquisition of which by the seller depends upon a contingency which may or may not happen. Contingent good is a part of future goods. So, bachcho, I hope you all have understood now what is contract of sale. You all now know what is contract of sale. Shall we move ahead? Okay, I'm sharing a PPT with you again. Conditions and warranty. What is condition and what is a warranty? Condition. Section 2, Section 12, subsection 2. Section 12, subsection 2 defines a contract as a stipulation essential to the main purpose of the contract. The breach of will give rise to the party to treat the contract as repudiated. For example, I want to purchase a mobile phone. I want to purchase a mobile phone. I went to a shopkeeper. That shopkeeper keeps mobile phone of every company. That is Samsung, Vivo, Oppo, OnePlus, iPhone, every company. I made a contract with the shopkeeper that I want iPhone 7 Plus. The shopkeeper told me that the price of iPhone 7 Plus is rupees 1 lakh. I said okay, I given him 1 lakh. He packs the phone and give the phone to me. When I come home and I open the packing, I came to know that it is not iPhone, it is a Samsung phone. So now this contract will be treated as cancelled because I asked the shopkeeper to pay to give me iPhone and he has given me the phone of Samsung. This contract is not valid now. I will return the Samsung phone to the shopkeeper and either I will take the money or I will take the iPhone. This is known as condition. Condition is the main purpose of the contract. The main purpose of the contract is that the shopkeeper will sell me iPhone and he has given me Samsung. So this type of contract is treated as cancelled and the shopkeeper now have to return me the money or have to give me iPhone. What is warranty? What is warranty? Suppose I have purchased this laptop, Dell laptop, from a shopkeeper. The shopkeeper told me that the Dell laptop has a warranty of 3 years. After 1 year, suppose the laptop stops working. So now is it possible that the company will take the laptop and return me the money? No. The company will check the laptop, will repair the laptop and give it back to me. So in warranty, you cannot cancel the contract. Warranty is just an additional purpose of the contract. Warranty is just an additional purpose to the contract. You cannot you cannot cancel the contract. You cannot cancel the contract if your laptop is not working properly. The company will check the laptop and will repair the laptop. So, section 12, subsection 3 defines a warranty as stipulation collateral to the main purpose of the contract, the breach of which gives rise to claim for damages, but not a right to reject the goods and treat the contract as repudiation. I told you in warranty it gives you right to claim for damages, but you cannot reject the goods or treat the contract as cancelled. It is not possible. Effect of breach of a condition is to give the aggrieved party a right to treat the contract as cancelled. That if the price has been paid, the buyer can claim the refund of price plus damages for breach. So if a condition is not fulfilled in a contract, if a condition is not fulfilled, then it gives the right that you can cancel the contract and you can claim the price along with the damages, because condition is the main purpose of the contract. But in warranty, you can claim only damages. The buyer has to accept the goods and cannot cancel the contract. You can just claim damages for the breach of warranty. Conditions and warranty. Expressed and implied condition and warranty. They are now what is express and implied condition and warranty. These are expressly provided in the contract. For example, a buyer desires to buy a Sony television model number 2020. Here model number is an express condition that the Sony television should be of model number 2020. If the Sony television is of model number 2015, then the contract will be treated as cancelled and the seller has to give me the price along with the damages. In an advertisement for Khaitan Films, guarantee for 5 years is an express guarantee. In an advertisement for Khaitan Films, guarantee for 5 years is an express warranty. Implied conditions and warranties are those which are implied by the law. Implied conditions and warranties are those which are implied by the law. Express, agreed upon at the time of contract. Implied, presumed to be present by law. For example, बच्चों, I will tell you. Suppose I went to purchase a mobile phone. I made a contract with the shopkeeper that I want iPhone 7. By mistake, the shopkeeper has given me Samsung phone. Now, I have expressed my condition that the iPhone should be there, not Samsung phone. The shopkeeper by mistake has given me Samsung phone. This contract will be treated as repudiated and cancelled. Now the shopkeeper has to return me the amount. What is implied condition? Implied conditions are all those conditions which are presumed to be present by law. It need not to be said. For example, I went to a shopkeeper to purchase an iPhone. I paid in the money and he has given me the iPhone. Now, when I am doing the calls from iPhone, the iPhone is unable to make any call. Now, it is a presumed condition that phone is taken to make calls. If I cannot be able to do calls from that phone, it means the contract is cancelled. Now I will return the phone and get my money back from the shopkeeper. We have not discussed that whether भैया इस phone से call हो पाएगा या नहीं, whether I can call from this phone or not. No, it is an implied condition that through phone, if you are purchasing any phone, it should be capable to make calls and receive calls. And if the phone is not capable of making the calls or receiving the calls, it means the phone is not right. You can return the phone and get back the money. It is known as implied condition. Rule of caveat emptor. Caveat emptor means let the buyer beware. In a contract of sale, the seller is not duly bound to disclose all the truth about the goods. Buyer should thoroughly examine before them. They can ask the seller all the clarifications required. If the seller shows the sample and the goods correspondence to the sample, the buyer cannot blame the seller anytime thereafter. Rule of caveat emptor says let the buyer beware. The buyer should be given a chance to examine the goods. It is not the duty of the seller to disclose all the truth about the goods. The buyer should himself examine the goods, and after examining the goods, the buyer should purchase the goods. Right of an unpaid seller. Who is an unpaid seller? Suppose I went to purchase a mobile phone from a shopkeeper. I take the mobile phone from the shopkeeper, but I do not pay him the money. Now that shopkeeper will be known as unpaid seller because he has sell the product, but he do not receive the money. What are the rights of an unpaid seller? Who is an unpaid seller? Unpaid seller is one who has not been paid a bill of exchange or other negotiable instrument received, but dishonor or otherwise irregular. Unpaid seller is the one who has not received the payment or the one who has received the check or any bill of exchange, but that check or bill of exchange is dishonored. Then also you will not get the money. Suppose I went to purchase a music system. The music system was of rupees 50,000. The shopkeeper has given me music system and I made a check of 50,000 and I have given that check to the shopkeeper. Now, the shopkeeper had put the check in the bank and the check is dishonored. The shopkeeper will be known as unpaid seller because he did not receive the money. Because he did not receive the money, the check is dishonored. What are the rights of an unpaid seller? Unpaid seller has two kinds of right against the goods, against the buyers personally. Unpaid seller has two kinds of rights against the goods and against the buyer personally. Against the goods. When the property and goods has been passed, lien, stoppage in transit, and resale. Suppose I went to purchase a two-wheeler. The showroom owner was my friend. He transferred the ownership of two-wheeler in my name and he said that tomorrow I will deliver the two-wheeler at your home. I said, okay, tonight I will transfer the amount of two-wheeler in your bank account. Suppose if I do not transfer the amount in his bank account, then in such a case, he shall not deliver the bike next day at my home. He shall stop the delivery of the bike and can resell the bike to some other person. Right against the goods में फिर देखिए when the property and goods has not been passed, withholding delivery and stoppage in transit. Again the same example. I went to purchase a bike. The shopkeeper told me that they will deliver the bike tomorrow along with the paper of ownership. I said okay. Tonight I will transfer the amount in the bank account. Suppose I do not transfer the amount. Now in such a case, the showroom owner will not deliver the product at my house. He will stop the delivery and he can resell the product to some other person. Right of an unpaid seller against the buyer personally. Sue for damages, sue for price. For example, for example, I purchased the music system from a shopkeeper. The shopkeeper delivered the music system to me. I said I will make the payment after 2 days. The shopkeeper told me, okay, please make the payment after 2 days. 2 days. I said okay. He has already delivered the music system at my home. Now after 2 days, if I do not repay the amount to shopkeeper, if after 2 days, if I do not repay the amount to shopkeeper, the shopkeeper can file a case against me for the price. Suit for damages. Suppose I purchase a music system again, and the shopkeeper, I told to shopkeeper that I will give the money after 2 days. If after 2 days I do not give the money and I return the music system to shopkeeper, the shopkeeper can file a case against me for the damages that he has incurred. Repudiation of the contract. It means cancelling. A seller can cancel the contract of sale. Suppose I want to purchase a air conditioner. I want to purchase a air conditioner AC. I went to an electronic shop. I made a contract with the shopkeeper that I will purchase the air conditioner after 5 days. He said okay. Now suppose in between 5 days he get a better deal, then he can cancel the contract with me and he can sell that AC to another person. Sue for interest. Suppose uh, I purchase a bike from a shopkeeper or a showroom. You can say I purchase a bike from a showroom for rupees 1 lakh. I said the showroom owner that I will make the payment after 5 days. He said okay. Now if I do not make the payment after 5 days, in fact I made the payment after 2 months. Now in such case, the owner of the showroom can file a case against me for the interest, for the loss of interest that he incurred for 2 months. Right of an unpaid seller. Right of lien. Lien is a right to retain the possession of the goods until the price is paid. A seller can retain the possession of goods until the price of the goods has been paid. This right is immediately in case of cash sale. In case of credit sale, it is after the expiry of the credit period. The right is also available when the buyer becomes insolvent at any time. Seller, having made part delivery of the goods, may exercise lien on the remainder. So what it is saying, right of lien means the seller of the goods can hold the possession of the goods until and unless the price is paid. Until and unless buyer paid the price to the seller can hold the delivery and do not deliver the goods to the buyer. Right of stoppage in transit. Suppose I am a seller and I sold some goods in Mumbai. Now the goods will take 2 days to reach Mumbai. Now if I made the delivery of the goods were in transit, but the buyer do not pay me the amount. Then I can call and stop the delivery of goods in transit. So this right is available when the buyer become insolvent and the goods are in transit, means on the way. In this case, the seller can stop the delivery of goods and can take goods back. Stoppage can be affected by taking possession or by giving notice of stopping. Right of an unpaid seller. Right of resale when the goods are perishable. An unpaid seller can resell the goods if the buyer do not pay the amount to seller. When the notice of resale is given to the buyer, but the buyer does not respond on payment within a reasonable time. If seller gives notice to the buyer that please pay the amount within the specified time, and if the seller do not respond, then in such a case the buyer can resell the goods after a reasonable time. In case of loss in a resale, seller can claim it from the buyer as the damages for breach of contract. Right of an unpaid seller, right of withholding delivery. Where the property in goods has not passed to the buyer, The unpaid seller has a right of withholding the delivery. Where the property or goods has not been passed to the buyer, the unpaid seller can stop the delivery, can hold the goods and can resell it to someone else. Right of an unpaid seller against the buyer personally. Sue for price. The unpaid seller can file a case against the buyer for demanding the price of the goods. Sued for damages. As I told you, the unpaid seller can file a case against the buyer for paying the damages. Cancellation of the contract before the due date. The unpaid seller can cancel the contract before the due date, sue for interest. If the buyer do not return the amount to unpaid seller within the reasonable time, the seller can sue for damages, can file a case against the buyer for interest loss that he has incurred. So I hope everyone has got my point. What are the rights of unpaid seller? Everyone understood what are the rights of an unpaid seller? Is there any problem? What is condition and guarantee? I am again repeating what is condition and warranty. Condition is the main purpose, essential to the main purpose of the contract. And if there is breach in the condition, then it gives a right to the buyer that he can cancel the contract. Warranty is additional to the main purpose of contract. If there is breach in warranty, it does not give the right to reject the goods or treat the contract as cancelled. What is rule of caveat emptor? Rule of caveat emptor means let the buyer repair, let the buyer beware. The seller is not duly bound to disclose the truth about the goods. The buyer should thoroughly examine them before purchasing. If the seller shows the sample and the goods correspond to the sample, the buyer cannot blame the seller anytime thereafter. फिर what is an unpaid seller? Unpaid seller is a person, is a seller who has not been paid for the goods that he has sold. What are the rights of an unpaid seller? Unpaid seller has two kinds of right, against the goods and against the buyer. Everyone got my point? Okay. Now, bachcho, we are going to study rights and duties of the buyer. We are also going to study rights and duties of the buyer, but we are going to discuss this topic in next class. In next class, we are going to discuss what are the duties and rights of a buyer. Today, we have discussed what are the rights of an unpaid seller, condition and warranty, contract of sale. We have discussed contract of sale, that is Sales of Goods Act 1930, condition and warranty. We have discussed right of an unpaid seller. In tomorrow's class, I am going to discuss with you rights and duties of buyer. Chaliye, let's do some illustrations so that you can get a clarity on the topic as well as you will get the revision of the topic. A contract whereby a seller transfers or agreed to transfer the property and goods to the buyer for a price. Contract of guarantee, contract of sale, contract of bailment, none of the above. The answer is contract of sale. Essential of a valid contract of sale. Essential of a valid contract of sale. Two parties, goods, transfer of property, all of the above. The answer is all of the above. In contract of sale, goods means every kind of movable property, immovable property, legal property, all of the above. In contract of sale, goods means movable property. Consideration in a contract of sale has necessary to be gift, cash, check, D, both cash and check. The answer is both cash and check. Goods can be classified as existing goods, future goods, contingent goods, all of the above. The answer is all of the above. The goods the acquisition of which by seller depends upon the contingency which may or may not happen. Existing goods, future goods, contingent goods, all of the above. The answer is contingent goods. Those which are owned and possessed by a seller at the time of contract of sale. Existing good, future good, contingent goods, all of the above. The answer is existing goods are the goods that are possessed or owned by the seller at the time of contract of sale. Goods that are to be manufactured, produced, or acquired by the seller after making the contract of sale. Existing goods, future goods, contingent goods, all of the above. The answer is future goods are the goods that are to be manufactured, produced, or acquired by the seller after making contract of sale. So, bachcho, these were the MCQs. Okay. So, in next class, we are going to discuss rights and duties of buyer. I hope you all have understood today's class. Thank you all for joining. Please take care, stay safe, stay healthy. Bye bye.